And welcome back to this Saturday's episode of Gabe's Cave. I'm your host all by my lonesome today, Uncle Nasty, and we are going to stay with the same soup, different cracker method, and we have got another panel that we did at the Oklahoma City Horror Con, and it is the Return of the Living Dead panel. We had Miguel Núñez Jr., Linnea Quigley, and Thom Mathews on the panel, and after the panel, these guys were nice enough to bless Brandon with a little personalized print. They were awesome. It was one of my favorite panels or interviews that I've got to be a part of. You guys check this out. I don't think y'all are going to be disappointed. Guys, this is your Return of the Living Dead panel here at the Oklahoma City Horror Con. Yeah! Mr. Thom Mathews. Mr. Miguel Núñez Jr. And Miss Linnea Quigley, y'all. If you guys were unfortunate enough to not make the special viewing last night, you really did miss out. She killed it during the Q&A. A lot of people had a really good time. All right, so y'all know how it goes. I'm going to ask each of these guys one easy question, something basic. And then this is where your creativity comes along out there, where you guys get to ask all those questions that you've really wanted to ask. We heard a little something about you doing your own stunts.
I did a lot of my own stunts, except for in the chapel where they pushed me and I fall back because they didn't want to take the chance of me breaking something, I guess, and having to stop the movie. But pretty much, yeah, I busted through the door. I went down the hallway. Yeah, I've always done physical. I was doing sports in high school and growing up and stuff like that. So, and I like doing it, so I try and do as many as I can. Insurance allowing it, because there's a limit that they don't want you to do it for liability. Yeah, he signs a waiver, or buys the insurance company, and then they sign it.
What is it like to be part of such an iconic franchise that even years after it's been released, people still flock in numbers to see you?
I think it's I can't even explain how I feel, because like I said, it's something you can't predict, you can't imagine, you can't foresee. So I mean, to have what you would do if you hit the lottery. You know what kind of joy that's gonna bring. You know what kind of joy it's gonna bring if you have a child. But to do a movie, you think you're gonna do. I've done 140 movies. You think you're gonna do a movie and it's gonna just be out there every day. You can make, but you never know when you're gonna do a movie that has the impact that this had. It's as shocking to me, probably to anybody, because I'm from a little country boy from North Carolina. But I don't know if it's probably to both of these people as well. You're just blessed. You don't know. You never know what'll happen. We had no idea when we shot this little stupid movie we were gonna be out there. It's gonna be we making money. We just doing a movie. That's all we thought. But we had the most fun. It was still to this day one of the best times I ever had in my life, and we were all new, and it was just like you hear the corny phrase, we were like a family, it was like a family, but that's real, because we were together for so long, early in the mornings, late, going through the rain. We hated the rain part. When the rain come, we got to be all soaking wet, and it was like, it was uncomfortable, and we were all uncomfortable together, experiencing this together, and then she got naked and changed my whole life, and if you notice the movie, when she got naked, before this now, next time you watch it again, before she got moving, you probably don't even remember this, before she got naked, I wasn't holding her hand in every scene. It was only after she got naked. And that wasn't in the script. I couldn't, and when I was like looking at her like that, I'm thinking about my mind, like, damn, I didn't know you could do this in a movie. All of that on my face was real. I was new to the business, so, I mean, to answer your question, you really don't know. It's amazing, it's awesome, it's incredible. People still wearing the shirts and the toys, and they've got this little bitty you needed warehouse plaque selling, and all of this shit selling, and the Tar Man can selling it, and they got little dolls of me. I'm like, what in the hell happened here? Yeah, but it's absolutely amazing, and the actors that happened to in their careers, are truly, truly blessed.
That's an awesome answer.
And it ain't about us. It ain't about us. It's about you. It's about the people. It's about the fans, because there's a lot of movies, but they don't go out there and do this. So I give credit to you guys, and I thank you guys for supporting it as long as you have. We all do. Thank you. And I know there's people that drove 2 hours and 3 hours. I'm like, where you come from? Blah, blah, blah. And how long take you to get here? 3 and 4 or 5 hours? I'm like, damn, I don't think I go that far to see my mama's funeral.
All right, we have a young man out here. Yeah, with the microphone. That's Lexington.
Hi, Lexington.
If I was Batman, he would be Robin.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Or Alfred, whichever one you want to see.
Yeah.
He is going to take the microphone around. So if you guys would like to ask these people some questions, just hold your hand up.
Hi, this question is for Thom. Of course, at the end of Friday the 13th, Part 6, you send Jason back to his grave.
To hell, yeah.
Yeah. To hell! To hell! But I was wondering, of course, Jason always comes back in some fashion. You know, he always returns. I was wondering if they were to have asked you to, back in the day, when, of course, you came back for Never Hike Alone, which those ones are awesome. If they would have asked you to come back for Part 7, if they were like, hey, we want Tommy Jarvis to fight Jason again, would you have done it?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And someone actually just sent me a script, how to resurrect him, which would have been cool in Part 7. So, well, maybe not then, because now we have global warming. Because of it, Camp Crystal Lake is sinking, the water's sinking. You got a drone shot going over Camp Crystal Lake, and you see Jason just bobbing just below the water. A lightning bolt comes down and blasts him in the head and brings him back to life. So that would have been a cool idea.
Oh, that would be cool.
But yeah, I absolutely would have done it for sure. Why not?
This one's more for Miguel. To sort of preface it, Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive is basically known as being like he was coked out of his mind the entire time, giving it the fluidity and craziness of the film. Are there any crazy good stories of everyone partying on set or anything going on to make it fun, or any exciting stories where anything happened crazy just randomly?
I plead the fifth.
What, Stephen King?
No. I didn't know that either.
Stephen King on coke?
I didn't know that either. But I didn't know any of that either. But listen, I have to tell honestly, like I said, most people don't know this, but I was still homeless when I did that movie. So they didn't know this, and I was just going to the set, and I was just fresh off the boat. All of that stuff that they're talking about, I wouldn't even know if it was going on. But I heard all the shit you just named was going on. So let's talk to some other people about it. Not with them though, but with some other people that was on the set. You know who that was? You know what I'm talking about?
Wait.
You know who we were talking about earlier? Oh shit! Sorry, I forgot I was here.
I know. Yes.
Yeah, there was some shit like that going on. Which I didn't find out till years later, but I heard there was a whole lot of that going on. But it wasn't with nobody up here, I can tell you that. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Because if it would, I'd tell you. But if you got any now, no, it's kidding. Totally kidding. No, listen, now, like I said, I didn't see any of that. I didn't even know any of it was going on. I didn't even hear anybody was going on. And how I found out about it was one of these years ago, and somebody up here and got into it, and they start telling about it. And I'm like, damn, where was I when all this was going on? Where the hell was I? What? That happened? Really? So yeah, it was some things going on. But mostly it was just creativity, working, all of us not knowing. That's why I said it wouldn't have been us. It was somebody in a little clique that was doing that, which we weren't even aware of till later. A couple of people were aware of it. But ours was just creative, having fun, and just working.
Oh, yeah.
So if you were expecting any dirt next...
That's awesome. Well, thanks for being here, guys. This is kind of a collective question for all of you. So there's like a lot of news right now going on with a reboot, remake in the works. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Boo.
If they do something of that, would you guys be interested in helping out with some of that stuff or anything like that? And that's my question.
I wouldn't. I think they should leave it alone.
I think they should leave it alone. Unless we all came back as zombies and we were still friends. Yeah. And then you was still naked. And then we saw you. And we all went for it. No, I was kidding.
That's another movie.
No, I think we should leave it alone. I think, like, for you guys are here, and then if you see the next one, and it's not what there, and you're gonna be comparing it, and you're gonna and it's gonna put a stain on what we've already done. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
And it would cost way too much money to get me to do it.
Yeah, or worse, whoever they cast for the roles to the new one, they've got tremendous shoes to fill. That's like impossible to do.
And they won't do it, no matter what.
It can't happen. So then it'll never be held on that level, and then they're going to feel some type of way about it for the rest of their life. Let's just not put those people through that.
Right, exactly.
Can you imagine trying to cast a James Karen type character?
You can't.
It would
Or
be-
Clue Gallagher.
Or Clue, yeah.
Or me. No, just kidding.
Or Don Calfa.
Or you.
Or me. Or,
Megan Fox.
oh, God.
She'd do it naked.
Megan,
Yes.
all she got to do is take off her clothes, don't talk.
We love you, Megan.
My question is for all of you.
You have amazing hair.
Thank you.
Yep.
What was your favorite part of shooting Return of the Living Dead?
The dry parts where it was not raining.
Yeah.
Anything where it wasn't raining, I was like happy with.
We had a lot of it. We really did. This is not a joke. We really did hate the rain.
Yeah.
My favorite part was just the camaraderie. All of that camaraderie, and we working, and then they bombing through the doors. Okay, and action, da-da, and then they sticking the thing through it. Come on, what are you doing, you stupid fuckers? And all of this stuff, and just knocking it, and just all of that, and him running in and busting through the door. Tina! And we been there watching this stuff, and we would watch everybody act, everybody else doing that other stuff, and we were just so excited, as you can see in the film. But that's part of the reason you like it, because. And the reason it worked well with all of us together is because we were uninhibited by all the Hollywood shit. We were just there to create, and we were just so excited about every scene, and we really got into it. And Dan was like, "You do it this way, and you do that way." And Tom had all that stuff on his face, and he had to put that foam stuff in his mouth. He had to bust through it. He had to play it real, and it was like, wow. We were all clapping, pulling for each other. So for me, it was the camaraderie, it was the creativity, it was the friends that I made. That's what it was for me. So.
Yep.
I agree with everything that Miguel said. For me, on top of that was getting to work with James Karen, and because we had a lot of great scenes together, and he was a veteran actor, and I was just coming up, and he had so many great stories because we were sitting in the makeup chair for hours on end, and he would tell me all the great stories. He was on Broadway. He was the gentleman caller in Streetcar Named Desire on Broadway. It just had so many stories, and just getting to know him. And then we found out on part 2 that we had the same birthday. So we shared our birthdays together for, until he passed 5 years ago. But that was a very special time. And just going to work every day for 5 weeks, as a young actor, I did a lot of commercials, and those are like 1 or 2 days, maybe a week long if you're on a location someplace. But for 5 weeks straight, just getting up. And I remember for me going to the set one day, and I had just had a conversation with my mom, and she said no. And on the way to the set, I was like, I haven't heard no on the set, because we talked about everything. We talked about the character development. We talked about the arc of the character, what to wear. Everything was like talked about. It wasn't just like a flat no, like it was from my mom. So it made me realize what a unique experience it was. And as far as the remake, you just can't touch it. We were making a drama, and how it became this thing, I have no idea. And you can't even try to make a movie like this. I think it just happened out of an organic, situation. Everything kind of fell into place.
That's true, because if you would have tried to make a zombie horror movie comedy, it wouldn't have came out as well. It just happened.
It truly is a dark comedy, as opposed to part 2 where they actually went for the jokes. Part 1 is truly a dark comedy because we played it for real, and we laugh at our situations that we're getting into, not what we were. We weren't making jokes. We played it real, as real as it could be, and just our situations that were. We were cutting off the yellow guy's head, the yellow corpse's head. I was laughing my ass off, and I was grossed out at the same time when I was watching the movie. I'm like, oh God. And I've never felt that in a movie ever in my life. So I was like laughing but grossed out at the same time. Couldn't believe what the hell I was watching. But that like was a continual theme through the whole movie. So you just, I don't know. It's just, it's lightning in a bottle, that Return of the Living Dead. It truly is.
Okay, this question is for Miguel. Biscuit in Life, Pretty Ricky Fontaine and Martin, and Reggie the Chicken King in A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. What was it about your chemistry with Martin Lawrence that just made comedic magic whenever you guys got together?
I was coming out of somewhere from doing I think Scooby-Doo. I was in Australia doing Scooby-Doo for like 6 months. And I came back and they go, Martin, they want you to come in and read for Martin. I ain't really know Martin at the time. And so I went in there and I was trying to get out of there. And there's about 10 other brothers in there and I go in, I'm like, oh, damn. And then I was like, so they gave me the scene right there and I was like, what is this? And she said, okay. And there was a lot of, the Pretty Ricky lines. And then I look around and then she go in the back and she come out and say, anybody want to go now? I said, I'll go. She said, well, you just got it. I said, I don't care. I just do it. I'm waiting on all these people. Let's go. And then I went in there and they said, Martin said, listen, man, don't worry about what the lines. I want you to just, give me something. And I was like, that's all I need. And killed it and walked out there and they gave it to me in the room. So when I left, those 10 actors was reading for nothing. So they still have to read them. And ever since then, from that point on, every single time he had a movie, I didn't even have to audition. He just called me in there. Because, if you notice, Reggie was just like Pretty Ricky. Reggie was Pretty Ricky. Right. So it's just, and then we became friends. So just knock it out. Every job you get, knock it out. I was telling some guy out there, he was talking about he used to being an actor, and it was like they offered me his listen, there is no little role. I've gotten movies from one little stinking scene in a TV show. I've gotten a TV series from one little stupid scene in a movie. Just knock out everything you do. Take every job,
work begets work, babe.
Absolutely.
Always, absolutely.
And treat every job as important as you. I treat a $35,000 movie the same way I treat a $150,000 movie.
Hey, this question is for Thom. Friday the 13th, Part 6. It's my favorite in the series.
Boo! Sorry.
Hey, them damn enchiladas. I got love for 5. This is for you. A 2-part question. 1, what was your favorite part about filming Part 6? And 2, at the end of the movie, when you're goading Jason into coming into the lake and talking shit, was that in the script or was that ad-libbed?
What I liked about the movie was, again, I did it a year after I did Return of the Living Dead, so that was great. I was coming off another movie, so I was leaving Mexico and going to Georgia to film that one, which never happened for me before, so I had 2 movies back to back, which was kind of cool. And then just going into Georgia and filming, and the opening sequence for me is probably sets up the whole movie, and it's just really shot well and really dynamic and stuff. And what was the second question?
If it was ad-lib.
Whenever you were talking
yes.
crap to Jason.
Tom came to me in that scene because Jason was in the cabin with the kids, and Megan was right there, and he busts out and he goes, I don't know how to get him down to the lake. I said, well, I'll just call him. I said, come on, Megan, it's me you want, remember? It's me you want. And he's going to crush her head, and he turns to her and he forgets about her, and yes, it's me he wanted, so he comes down to the lake, and that's how that transition happened.
So it was ad-lib.
It was ad-lib, and it was my idea how to get him down there.
That's great.
I want to say something to Thom that I've never said, and I've never even said at any panel, and it's the truth. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I remember when I was doing this, like I said, I was new. And you did the scene when you bust into the chapel, and you did that. But the scene, and I remember watching you. Remember you came in there, and you was like, you went senior, and you were like, something wrong before you say, I don't know, it's me a heart. Then you come up. I remember looking at you. I never told you. I remember letting you like this going in my mind. Damn, that guy's a good actor. I literally thought you were the best actor. I'm not, because I only did 1 or 2 scenes with Clue and none with what's his name. And I remember thinking, you were the best actor in that movie.
Oh, thank you.
Because I remember you had those big scenes. He was like, "It hurts, Tina. It hurts." And then something. You came in there with the lady, and you fell on the floor. He goes, "Tell us what happened." That scene, I remember. That's when I was looking at you, and you were doing that shit. I was like, "Damn, that guy is good." I literally thought you were the best actor in that movie when we were doing it.
You
And that's
talking about the transition when I died?
Yeah.
I died in her arms. Yeah. That was fun. It was a great part. I mean,
the scene when you came in there with the lady on the thing and fell on the floor, and we said, "There he is." When we were trying to find out where you were, and you was like, that scene. That one, I was like, "Damn, that guy's good."
yeah, it was a fun part. It's a great part for an actor. I mean, from going from an innocent kid to a full-blown out brain desiring zombie was a lot of fun.
And Dan did have a lot to do with it too, because like he was saying earlier, I do a movie, they take you to wardrobe and say, "Hey, where the wardrobe people try it on, take 5 pictures, and they go, that's it. You don't talk to them no more." The directors look at the picture and say, "Oh yeah, that's good," and then they'll have whatever he picks at the scene. That's usually how wardrobes work. Dan wanted us there. You had to look at it, check it out, know every single aspect of it. So he had a lot to do with how it came out. Dan, and it's every scene he was there and kind of figured out. I don't want this hand to come out when Skull got bit. What's his name? In the head, all of that.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, Dan Skull was his name though. But Dan had a lot to do with it. We didn't see his genius. We didn't recognize his genius, but
We just thought he was crazy.
We thought it was crazy.
Yeah.
But the reason everybody's here is because of his genius. The reason this thing is last is because of his genius. He saw what he saw what we didn't see then. He did.
I want to say the same thing. Part 6. Absolutely my favorite Friday. That being said, I do love Demon was one of my favorite characters. No, Demon's one of my favorite characters, hands down. I mean, he's just amazing.
Yes, ask your question, sir.
My question's actually for Miss Quigley. In the movie, you said.
How did I know?
How did you like part 6?
yeah. How'd you like part 6? In the movie, you talked about how the different ways you wanted to die, and you were like, I always dreamed about some guys just biting me and everything else. So I was always curious, whenever you actually do get eaten in the giant pile of zombies, was Trash secretly excited at that point?
I don't think so. I think she was terrified.
I always wondered about that.
No.
Yeah, dreams and reality don't really go together.
I don't like this anymore.
It hurts.
I think she was like scared.
It wasn't Ric Flair taking a bite out of her, guys.
No.
My question is for Miguel, right here.
Oh yeah, sir.
So yeah, Demon's one of my favorite Friday characters.
Yay!
Friday characters. But I noticed that like Demon and Spider are so close together, like the way you guys looked and maybe acted. Was that intentional, or was that just it was the same year?
Every movie I put a little me in everything. It led to me too, but no, it didn't. Actually, it was just totally the way it came out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I got a question for you. Why she didn't bring me no popcorn? Just kidding.
How long apart were those two characters done? Was it a year apart or?
Yeah.
About a year apart.
And Return of the Living were the first two that I did. Yeah.
So I did Return and Friday the 13th a year apart as well, and someone pointed out to me that I had suspenders for both of the characters, which I hadn't really even. They pointed it out to me. So it's like, you are where you are in that period of life, 2 or 3 years. You have the same impulses and stuff, and vice versa for me as well, I guess.
Hi, this question's for all of you. Do you have a favorite special effect from the film?
I do. The lady.
Yeah,
the lady on the table. When she said, "Oh, that makes the pain go away," and then when the little spine whipped to the other side.
I agree. That was really cool.
People, brains. In her spine jumping back.
Yeah. Oh, I love that shit. And they had juice coming out of it.
Spinal fluid.
Having a conversation with a zombie in that situation, and it was enlightening to us to understand what they were going through. Was very enlightening.
It was.
It
had never been done.
No.
You never had cared about how damn zombie feel.
And it became Return is part of pulp culture now, because now whenever you think of a zombie, they're going for brains now because of Return of the Living Dead. So it's become part. It's
and
bigger
that's
than
how
itself.
you kill them too.
And we were like
Usually
this when it was
through
like,
the hat.
oh wow. And Skulls, what's his real name?
Brian?
Brian Peck. Brian had already got killed. He was one of the people under the table operating it.
Yeah.
Because it took like 3 or 4 guys to operate. One to do the spine,
Yeah.
one to do the leg, one to do the head, one to do the eyes. And he was actually one of those people under the
Yeah.
table operating it. And I went to some convention 2 or 3 years ago, and the guy had the actual one.
He did?
And split dogs. I'm like, how do you get this? He said they had a sale online of everything that was in that warehouse, and it was going for next to nothing. And he brought the animated lady for $200.
That's insane.
I'm like, wouldn't they fucking come? Excuse me. Why wouldn't they come to us first? He had the real one. And I offered him $1,000. He said, hell no. Yeah.
Wow.
They had split dogs. Remember they were moving in the warehouse? And I didn't think about it then. I would have had everything on that set. Because ever since I did that, I did movies. I got a gremlin. I got a critter. I got one of the glasses from, and the jackets from, what is it, Keanu Reeves movie? The Matrix. I got every set I don't give a damn. Eddie Murphy movie, every one of them, I got something on it. Catch me, nigga, I'm out the door.
You learn.
I got everything. And if I would have had all that shit if I'd thought about it.
You bring your
The
suitcase.
split dogs would have been cool, but also the board of the butterflies too would have been cool.
Yeah, that's
really
the one
cool.
I want. The one that was moving? Yes. Damn, I forgot about that one.
That would be cool. What I wanted was my jacket, my red and white jacket that said "F you" on the back of it. But Dan also made a TV version, and he was.
Why don't you get that jacket?
He thought he had a foresight of thinking that it might possibly be on television, so he had another jacket made, and it said, and this is the one I wanted, TV version on the back of the jacket instead of "F you." That's the jacket I wanted.
So his wife got to have it. You can get it. I can get it for you.
I could get it made, I
Yeah,
guess.
no, but his wife still got to have that shit.
yeah,
She
maybe.
try to write all the time and talk to me.
Really?
I'll get it for you. I'll try to get that for you.
Okay.
So, this question is technically for all three of you. Of course, all three of you guys have done a ton of wonderful movies. You guys have all been in a bunch of stuff. And none of you are a stranger to doing uncomfortable scenes. I mean, Miguel, you were stuck in an outhouse for a long time. And Linnea especially, I mean, even in Nightmare on Elm Street 4, being in the Freddy body, looked very uncomfortable. I wanted to know from all three of you what you guys thought was the most uncomfortable scene to shoot out of all your movies.
Oh, wow.
For me, it was being in the boat with the fire because of the special effects guy. He turned the gas up too high. I had a couple issues with him on that movie, but that was because I could feel the flames. I thought I was going to burn my hair off. So I was uncomfortable in that scene. And also, when I stabbed the spear into Jason before he resurrects and before the lightning bolt hits, or just after the lightning bolt hits, it's supposed to smoke. So I'm in the grave, my feet at the bottom, pulling the spear out, but they want it to smoke. So there's the same idiot. He's spraying the spear with something, I don't know what it is, to make it smoke. And I don't know if it's acid, and he's got the fan blowing, it's blowing in my eyes. I said, what are you doing? They didn't tell me what it was. So that was probably the only time. And being under the water stuff, you would think would make me uncomfortable, but we took it slow, and there was a guy off 10 feet away, and if I wanted oxygen, because we were underwater for about 20 to 30 minutes at a time, so that actually was pretty cool.
I can't do underwater 30 minutes. I think the most uncomfortable I was on a TV show called Tour of Duty. It was the first TV show I was on. It's a Vietnam show we were shooting in Hawaii.
The episodic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the director wanted me to eat a bug.
What?
The episode was me and one of the other, we were in a platoon, one of the other soldiers get separated and we get lost and stuff. And so he kept saying, the director, when the back of those days, hey, babe. Every time he came and said, I was like, hey. He said, hey, man, Gabe. He said, hey, how you doing, Miguel? Eat a bug for me, babe? I said, yeah. Every day he would say, eat a bug for me, babe? I'm like, yeah, what the hell is this man talking about, eat a bug? For what the hell that mean? So then they came back with a script, and they said, they want you to eat the bug. I'm automatically assuming it's going to be a chocolate something.
Yeah, of course.
And they said, bring in the bug wrangler. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then they bought this guy to open this big ass can, and he took these tweezers and pulled out the biggest water bug you ever seen in your life. And he said, you got to eat this. I'm not eating no damn bug. He said, you got to eat the bug. It's in the script. I'm like, so you got a real bug? And the director goes, listen, if I give you this bug and you put it in your mouth, the moment I cut to somebody's place, they're going to come back to you. They're going to know he cut. It wasn't a real bug. He said, listen to me. Right, he goes, no, he was saying, he was giving me all these. Think about it. Blank did this, and he drunk something, and Watchwalla did these other big actors that had did something like that outrageous. He said, and look what it did to them. He said, when you do this, and that press, get out today, this, that. He said, and I was like, yeah, really? Okay.
You ate the bug?
I feel like throwing up right now thinking about it.
You
It was
didn't
like,
swallow it, right?
it was.
I bet it was bitter and
And
nasty.
the bug wasn't so bad, but having to pretend I like it was worse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! And then you had them little hairs and feet and antennas in your teeth. That was the most uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
Eating a live, big, fat ass water bug. Good question.
My question was for all three of you. I wanted to ask, what was your favorite line?
Oh, in that movie or any movie?
And
Return of the Living Dead.
yeah.
Mine was, you stupid fucker. You are so cute. That's what I want to know. How you get to be so cute? Your favorite line?
My favorite line was probably "Let's do that."
Let's do that. Oh, let's do that.
It was just such a weird line.
Wasn't that when you say, let's go in the graveyard?
Yeah.
You said, let's go in the graveyard. Ooh, let's do that. That was a kind of fly line. That's a good one.
Fun.
That was a good one.
I'm sitting here trying to think of what my favorite line is. I can't think.
But I like your braids. Tina.
Can't think of it.
Freddie?
Off the top of my head.
Freddie. Remember she said that every scene? Freddie?
Yes.
Freddie?
Yes.
That was actually my question, but I gotta run.
Okay, well then, thank you.
I gotta run her up. So, favorite piece of like fan art or fandom that's been given to you personally? What would you say over all the years?
Fan gifts?
Yeah, like fan gift.
Someone made a replica of Freddy with the FU jacket on the back of him, of course. Full zombie, which was kind of cool. I have it in my. Yeah, it's about. Yeah,
he better make one of me.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Are you next? Because I got.
Oh, geez. I've got so many things that I don't know what my favorite is. I just got a breast for like
had breast.
a little one.
Oh, you mean a new one? Oh,
New one. That has like the lipstick going through it, and that's pretty cute. That's pretty cute.
All right, mine was like, again, I'm gonna have to go back to Tour Duty. Tour Duty was it was a Vietnam show that we shot, and we, because of this show, and because it was so meaningful. And I'm gonna start by saying, I probably have 8 Purple Hearts at home, and if anybody know what a Purple Heart is and how you get a Purple Heart, a soldier gets a Purple Heart. And this show Vietnam, Tour of Duty, Vietnam veterans, when they came back, every soldier you talk about now, we call them heroes. When the Vietnam veterans came back, they had to run into the bathroom in the airport and take their uniforms off and throw them away so nobody would know they were in the army, because they were spit on everywhere they went. They weren't called heroes, they were spit on. And nobody talked to them about it, and that's why they had so much PTSD. When Tour of Duty came out, now after this show came out, it was such a hit. Now they be sitting at home and their kids and their mother and wives be saying, hey, listen, so what happened? That happened? And they be like, wait, you talking to me? And it allows so many veterans to open up. I would go through airports, thousands of veterans. One time this guy literally walked up and kissed me right in the mouth and holding my face tight. And I'm put, what the fuck? And he had no face. He had blown up. He got blown up. And he was a veteran. And he said, thank you. I've had 1,000 veterans come at me and hug and scream and cry, saying I was never able to talk to anybody about this until your show. I'll give you a great example. And this was exactly what I'm talking about. I went to North Carolina, my little hometown, and I go to this little gas station that my friend owned, who I went to school with, and everybody go out there, and I pull up, oh my God, yeah. And then I got one of my friends come up and tell me, yeah, motherfucker, you need motherfucker, I just shoot you. They say, hey, don't talk to him, he's crazy. I said, what do you mean he's crazy? He was in Vietnam. I'm like, hold on, wait, what? He's like, yeah, man, so they're overrunning our thing. They're overrunning the camp. I said, wait. And I started explaining to him what he's saying to you is, he was in a camp and it's being overrun. That's why he's saying overrun camps. That's what they used to do. The Vietnamese would send, if you got this many people in a platoon times 5, 10 times as many people in a platoon, and you remember you ain't from there, so they would build these out in the middle of the jungle. What the Vietnamese would do is, they say, how many they got over there? About 10,000? Okay, fine. They'll send a wave in and let you just shoot them and dead. Send another wave in and shoot them in the dead, and do it as long as it took till you ain't got no more bullets. And walk over the dead people and go in there and kill everybody. And they did that over and over. They didn't give a damn. They just send waves and waves to how many men, but they ain't got enough bullets to more men they got. And then you run out of bullets. And I would explain to him, then I said, keep going. And then he said, the howitzers are just going off. And I was like, okay, wait. Hold on. A howitzer is those big guns where you see them do like this and stick the thing in. So they're raining down howitzers on them first before they overrun them. And I started explaining what he was saying, explaining. About an hour or so later, I drive away and I look out my rearview mirror, and there's a crowd of people around him. And for the last 20 years, nobody ever gave him the time of day. And that's what it did. So I would get Purple Hearts in the mail. I literally have Purple Hearts. And
As a thank you.
You cannot give your Purple Heart away. So, yeah.
What was your favorite zombie in Return of the Living Dead?
Tarman.
Yeah!
And that guy that said, send more cops.
What about the little guy?
Oh, yeah.
He was pretty cool.
I knew him.
You knew him?
Yeah, he was on Venice Beach every weekend dancing.
Oh my God! Is that who it was?
Yes, that was the little guy with
I
no hands and
remember
no
that.
legs on
Yes,
Venice. That's what he saw.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, he would dance on Venice Beach.
I remember that.
Oh, and he would have tons of money for years. He would go out there and watch him, and he would no legs, no arms, but he would dance.
And he made a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how I knew him. But yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah, that was a good one for me.
That's probably was the best one too.
Yeah, but Dan made him eat raw brains.
What do you mean?
If
I'd have known
yes.
then, I wouldn't have done. I know shit, but I
Yeah.
would not let that man eat that boy eat some.
I got on set when he was eating the brains, like that scene.
cow brains.
Those were real brains.
It was like real brains.
You can't do that now.
No, well, you can't eat bugs either.
Well, you can't. Well, you maybe can. Isn't that right?
Well, yeah.
Wow, he ate real brains.
Yes.
I think that's rude.
I think they were cow brains.
Huh?
Cow brains.
Yeah.
But it's not cooked.
No.
I've eaten brains.
He got sick. He got sick.
Oh, he did? Oh.
Of course he got sick.
There you go.
Hey, raw cow brains. He got sick.
So it's funny you bring up the TV edit of the show. The first time I ever saw, or the movie, sorry. First time I ever saw Return of the Living Dead, my grandma recorded it off of like TNT or USA, some late night cable cut. Yeah, she was my gateway into horror, man. So I watched this movie when I was like 7 or 8, and I loved it. You know, it's top 3 favorite all-time horror movie. Don't ask me the first one because it's 3 that just rotate. But I never saw the FU jacket. I know what you're talking about. And I never saw the pivotal dance scene in the graveyard. I never knew this stuff till like high school. I caught a cut of it on Cinemax, and I'm just like, this ain't the same movie Grandma showed me. So that being one of my favorite movies of all time, what are each of your guys' like just a favorite or your favorite horror movie? I know you answered last night, Dario Argento.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, each of you, if you could.
What is our favorite horror?
Yeah, just a personal favorite horror movie.
Mine was Four Flies on Grey Velvet by Dario Argento.
Never saw it.
What one?
Yours. I never saw yours.
It's very rare. It's very rare.
My favorite horror. You know, I like The Omen and The Exorcist and all that. And that Thing, of course. You know. Yeah. The Omen scared the shit out of me.
My favorite was the first Freddy Krueger. When you didn't know if it was real and you didn't know it was about, that was the very first one. Yeah. And my first Jeepers Creepers, those two.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hey, my name's Z. I'm so excited to talk to you guys. Whew. Because like there's 3 movies, you know, with you guys in there that I'm just like super excited. So I actually like number 5, Jason. That's my favorite. And then damn enchiladas. I love that. And And then, of course, the Return of the Living Dead. You guys were all great in there, and I watch it constantly. Yes, I watch it constantly. I love it. My question is for Linnea. My other favorite movie is, of course, Night of the Demons. Yes. And so my question is, because of Night of the Living Dead and the Night of the Demons, I mean, obviously you're very sexual in there and everything. And by the way, great body still. So, so were you really nervous to do those scenes, or did your family ever had problems with that, like when you were doing that? Just my question.
No, I was nervous. Yes, I was nervous. It's like when you go to the doctors and you're sitting there in that little gown, you're like, that's what I felt like before doing the scenes and like trying to get my courage up. And my parents, I thought, would have a big issue with it, but they didn't. My dad's a doctor, you know, and it was like, oh, well, the human body, he would walk around and like, whatever, you know, and we didn't really put a lot of like credence to like, oh, it's dirty or something like that.
So they're really supportive then.
So they were supportive.
That's
yeah.
great.
I was surprised though. Yeah. I thought
Were
they were like
were they
most
from
parents.
Europe at all?
Were they what?
From Europe? Your parents from Europe or?
No, they were from here.
No kidding. Because I was married to my first wife was Swiss.
Oh.
And they had body freedom kind of thing.
That's true.
And my first wife's mother would walk around naked, and I was like, I don't want to see that shit
in front of you.
In front of you?
I mean, what the hell?
In front of you?
That's not fair. Yeah, in front of me.
It'd be different if she was fine, Marlene.
That's why I asked if they were from Europe, because, you know.
Yeah,
They had
they're
that
a lot
sensibility.
freer in Europe, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But was that movie she's talking about before or after it returned?
Which movie?
Night of the
Demons.
Night of the Demons was after.
Okay, because that's weird to me, because I always say this. I was blown away how, and I think it because with us and all of that, I was like, and that girl, she was just doing it with her clothes out. She didn't care.
Once I started dancing, I didn't care. I just like blocked everything out. So, you know, but it's beforehand you're like just so nervous.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Where you going, little girl?
Yeah, that's it.
She's got her backpack.
Hey, this question's for Miguel. This is a Friday the 13th Part 5 question. My man, obviously a controversial. He's not a fan.
Excuse me.
Obviously a controversial entry since, spoilers, Jason's not the killer. My question is, while y'all were filming it, were you aware that it was an imposter Jason? And if so, what were your thoughts on the film?
No, not at all.
Really? That's interesting. All right, thanks.
Y'all mentioned Tom Cruise earlier. Doesn't that guy, the nerd in the group, doesn't he look like Tom Cruise a little bit?
He does. He
Doesn't
resembles him a lot. Yeah. He's got that.
Yeah.
And he kind of talks like him a little bit.
So last night, Linnea kind of talked about Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead Part 2. How y'all were promised parts.
We were all promised parts.
Tom was in it. But
Yeah.
Kind of, can y'all elaborate on that?
Well, Tom is promiscuous, and no, I'm joking. He's not.
She's joking. Keep it
I'm
up.
joking. We were all promised parts. Weren't you promised a part?
I had no idea. I was surprised I was in it.
I didn't care. I was working so damn much. I ain't give a damn. I went from movie to movie to movie to movie to movie to movie to movie after that. Never stopped. So I didn't know anything about it. If they'd have called me, I'd have been happy. And I didn't even know they had done a part 6 until I saw it coming out.
Part 2.
I'm sorry, part 2. Sorry.
You've got your mind on part 6 now.
Part 2. I'm thinking of Friday 13th.
Yes.
Yeah, you are.
But I did tell you that they called my agents for Friday the 13th at about 3, 4, 5 years ago, and they said Paramount called and they wanted me to be in the final episode of Friday the 13th. They were going to bring back some of the people from the most recognizable deaths. Their souls were going to come back and kill him, and that was going to be the end of it. And we never got the call.
Oh no.
But they called and that's what they said. They want to know if you're available. Would he be interested? I said yeah, and then they never did it.
That makes you mad.
It would
when
make
they
great because
offer you
I was like, that's a really
something
good idea.
and-
Bring some of the souls back that he killed. That's what they were gonna do. But I don't know what the hell happened to it. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to give it away. Studio, in case y'all really trying to do that.
We got time for one more question, so.
Anybody? Not you, lady. Anybody else?
Well, dang, because my question's for you. So,
Okay. Well, yeah. Go ahead, step right up. Move back so let her talk.
so sorry, Tom, but Friday 5 is my favorite. So, and Demon is actually my favorite
Cold.
character in the whole franchise. So,
Why don't you move up front, lady? Get up, let her sit there, sir.
So my question is about Demon's weird, like, multi-cuisine food van he's got going on. What was the thought behind that? Because it's like there's pizza, there's Chinese, it's everything. And did you guys actually eat that food?
Actually, I think there was some food. I think I was hungry, and I think that was some of the food because they kept saying bring more food in, and the director wanted to. That wasn't like food, and it didn't look really like it was lived in. And I remember he said no, and we have to go back and change it. And they told me to go back, and they came in. They wanted to throw food around. They wanted Cheetos bag or pizza, whatever that shit is you saw in there. The directors did all of that. To me, like again, it was my first movie. I don't know what he's doing. They saw the vision. You know, a lot of these directors, see that kind of stuff. But
okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Y'all give a big round of applause.
Thank you,
Come on.
guys. Thank you.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that panel, man. It was a blast. I know me and Lex had a blast, and obviously the people on the panel had a blast. The people in the audience had a blast. So if you guys have not been able to come to a panel where we have hosted it, you guys definitely need to come check us out at one of these cons. We will be at GeekCon on the 25th. I know y'all will be missing that when this airs, but definitely if you see this and you are in the Shreveport area on this Saturday when this goes live, we will be there. So come on down and check us out. Also, Cowtown Comic-Con, September 30th through October 1st. We will be doing the panels there as well. So if you guys are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you could always check us out there, and it's always worth making the trip. Before we jump off here, though, this week, let's take a time out and let's thank our sponsor, RPGhiring.com, because wouldn't none of these trips and none of these cons and panels be possible without you guys. Thank you, RPGhiring.com. We know you are building people, changing lives. If you guys live in Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, or Tennessee, and you are looking for a new career, check out RPGhiring.com. Like I say, they are building people, changing lives. All right, guys, we got DP's Food Truck Park finna open up here. We've got Austin St. John that will be in the Cave August 25th. So if you guys are anywhere near this area or you guys want to get something signed, definitely reach out to us. You can contact us on the Facebook Messenger, or you could just email us at gavescave13@gmail.com. All right, Cave Maniacs, until next week, we out.